Tonight, we finally have a non-woke superhero. There's a famous horror movie that gets a remake, and we say goodbye to one of Hollywood's stalwarts. All that and a whole lot more for you as Cinematic Class is about to begin, and your professor is in. Greetings, salutations, another sundry affair. I am your cinematic professor and purveyor of truth in movie. It is really great to be back in the studio. This is my first time back in the studio in, I think, about 5 months, almost 5 months. So it's been a while, but it is certainly nice to be back. And we come back welcoming a brand new sponsor to the show. Once again this year, we are partnering with Three Rivers Comic-Con. I'll tell you a little bit more about that later in the show. Of course, Todd and John are still involved with that, and we hope to have them on in a special edition of Outtakes with Rex Reel a little bit later as we get closer to the Comic-Con date. And of course, our sponsor is always House of Fairuza, a barbershop and cigar lounge. If you went down to their last promotion we did on the show, you had yourself a blast. I know everyone there did. And they have a whole lot more things coming up. We'll tell you about them later on in the show as well. Right now, let's get into the meat and potatoes, shall we? This movie is called The Unheard. Ladies and gentlemen, content. All right? Content is the problem for a plethora of streamers and streaming services that have popped up willy-nilly in a short amount of time, kind of like wildfire, if you will. Now, Shudder is one of those streamers. It's a very solid concept, but they actually don't have a library. And so they rely on some subpar projects. The Unheard is extremely slow. It takes 38 minutes into this movie before the first plot action even occurs. That's 28 minutes too long, people. Once the first plot action is revealed, the film meanders through mindless subplots and speculative scenes that serve only to bore. Editor Aaron Crozier takes a 42-minute story. In fact, I suspect this may have been a series pilot at one time, and stretches it agonizingly into over 2 hours. Scenes like the girls' night out and the dock scene are totally unnecessary in this film's telling. All right, I've got some names coming up for you on this movie, so pardon me while I don the specs. Director of photography Owen Lavelle dampens the camera's audio during scenes centered around Chloe. She's the main character and she is deaf. Now that's a really cute ploy, but then he brutalizes the viewer with a VCR distortion effect when most of them are superfluous. The entire tale surrounds a medical breakthrough to cure deafness by injecting a virus into the ear. This allows the virus to regrow damaged nerves. Now, viruses being used for good, that's a hell of a promotional campaign, is it not? This one must have come straight from Dr. Fauci's NIH labs. They could need it. When Chloe, who is played by Laken Watson, enters the experiment, the virus not only restores her hearing, but it tunes her into a higher frequency, and on that frequency, she can hear the dead. With this new ability, she helps solve a murder that is years forgotten. Starring also are Brendan Meyer, Nick Sando, and Sonori Ramanathan. This plotting snooze fest is written by Michael and Sean Rasmussen and directed by Jeffrey Brown. Like most soap operas, you can watch this movie in 15-minute increments and still comprehend all of the characters and all of the plots.
This is a stage 1 clinical trial. Right now, hearing loss is irreversible. The purpose of this study is to change that. I can hear, like, everything.
I know you. Your name's Chloe, right? We used to play together as kids.
My mom left when I was 8. Disappeared. It's the last time I remember really hearing anything. And I still hear her voice.
We looked for your mom. It was really hard to do.
This place, it does things to you.
I think something's wrong with the procedure. I'm hearing things. Things that aren't there. It's getting worse.
What are you hearing right now?
You know, decades ago, science kind of body slammed religion. Now, before that happened, there were a lot of cases of demonic possession. But once science came in and took over religion, those cases of demonic possession actually became money-making psychiatric maladies. Now, as religion is downplayed in society, however, we find more and more cases of demonic possession being ruled. That's kind of a contradiction and a little bit of irony, is it not? And while this is an interesting phenomenon, writer-director A.T. Sharma does not make that point until the very end of Hypnotica. Now, all through the film, the viewer is watching a patient slowly slip into madness, and there are no religious overtones at all. The only mention of the supernatural relates to the doctor's family because they used to be a collection of seers. You know, they would read the tarot cards for people. That is a far cry, from the Catholic Church. So when the concluding reels come down the pike and they're displayed, and the tie-in to the Catholic Church is made, a golden opportunity for a truly horrific tale of demonic possession slips through the cracks and serves only as a last-ditch effort to save a guideless plot. Hypnotica stars Adam Johnson, Tim Torrey, and Taylor Foster. Here's a look.
Doctor, things are going the wrong direction for me. I'm a hopeless case.
Listen to me. There is one more thing. For us to have any success here, we're gonna do this my way or no way at all. With each snap, you will fall deeper and deeper. I want you to go back in time. How old are you?
It was 8.
Tell me what you see.
Blood. There's a basin filled with my blood. The places they cut me up, I'm bleeding.
Is there anyone else there?
They're all sleeping now. It's their turn.
He's obsessing about his patients. He's isolating from relationships.
I've been sensing something. It's dark. You need to be careful.
You know what the problem is? Impulse. You thought about it. Death.
Are you a good boy?
I have his knife. It's all I need. She's downstairs.
You need to stop bringing your work home.
This is a man's life.
But what about our lives?
Enough. I can't fail. I've opened the door. What do you see?
She's hanging from a rope. She cut her wrists. Wake up.
Wake up!
I let you experiment on me. This is my reward. I want to play with her.
This is enough.
It's too late. I can't stop the things that are coming. Doctor. I don't think you can make me well.
Let it out.
Say, I'll tell you about a horror film remake, and I'll tell you about some projects that are being redone just so they can be woke. All that and a lot more for you when Outtakes with Rex Reel continues right after this. Since spring has already sprung in the Berg, it means rebirth, and what better way to celebrate the season? Fresh new look. And the best place to get a fresh new look is the House of Fairuza Barbershop and Cigar Lounge. They're located at the corner of Drake and South Park Road. Sam and his crew can make you style and profile and look the best that you can be. Plus, they have a complete array of the best hair products and facial products available on the market today, both national and local stuff. I use them, I love them, they're great. Check them out today, House of Fairuza Barbershop and Cigar Lounge, corner of Drake and South Park Road. You will look like a brand new man. Welcome back to the show. Hey, I've got some big news coming up for you in the Biz Buzz, but first, do you remember a horror movie called Last Shift? It has kind of a cult following, and it was considered one of those nice eerie tales that you could watch. Well, it's been remade, a reimagining, I shouldn't say remade, a reimagining of that movie called Malum. Now, the opening segment begins with found footage, and you know how I hate that, but it's only the opening footage. It shows police raiding a cult pig farm where young girls are sacrificed to the low god. After the arrests are made, the lead officer goes berserk in the station, killing many of his fellow officers. Well, then the movie jumps a year later, and the officer's daughter, for her very first assignment as a policeman, requests guard duty at the police station where her father went bonkers. Interesting plot. And all of this happens to happen on a night when that same pig cult is staging protests throughout the city and targeting police stations in particular. This movie stars Jessica Lauren, Eric Olson, and Cheney Morrow. It was written, directed, and edited by Anthony DeBlasi. Russell Effects did the special effects. They're not bad for an independent movie, and for an independent demon-type movie, this one's worth a look.
I can see the fear in your eyes. You saw something you can't explain.
This way, rookie. Call's been rerouted to the new station, so it should be quiet. If there's an emergency, the station's number's on the desk.
Sure, I'll be fine.
Hello?
told us that Captain Lauren's daughter would be joining the department.
Yes, sir. Just want to work where my father worked, even if it's for one night.
He was a hero. Until he wasn't, you know?
Lanford Police Department.
You don't know what happened, but your father was no saint. Your daddy started something very important. Tonight we're gonna finish it.
The Temple Baron will bring forth the low god, and I will be Redeemer. Infamum Mau Mau.
I can't do this anymore. Just get me out.
We pray in the temple of the low god.
Say, welcome on back to the show. A couple of items in the Biz Buzz to tell you about now, a little bit of news going on. First off, there are a couple of shows and movies that are being rebooted, and they're being rebooted specifically to interject a woke agenda. And one of those, which is causing a pretty big social media storm, is the X-Files. They want to reboot the X-Files and make it more diverse and more multicultural. So we're going to have, we're not going to have Agent Scully and Mulder anymore because, you know, Scully and Mulder were white, doggone it, and we have to be more diverse, even if there's only a cast of two. So they're going to bring in all kinds of people of color and different gender things and all this kind of happy hoopla to redo the X-Files. A lot of people are not happy with this. Rumors are that Gillian Anderson and David Duchovny won't go anywhere near it. And another story that they're remaking with a woke agenda is The Fly. Now, The Fly's already been remade a few times. The first one had Al Hedison, who later became David Hedison when he went to Voyage of the Bottom of the Sea. As The Fly. And then probably the one everybody knows most is David Cronenberg's version. This one is going to stick more to that story. But once again, in that story, you had Jeff Goldblum and Gina Davis. And these are white people, for crying out loud. We can't make movies with just white people in them anymore. So we got to go multicultural and diverse. And in every Fly movie, it's always been the mad scientist has been male. My God, misogynist all the way around there. We got to bring a woman in there. Yeah, well, that's what they're going to do. So this time, the scientist who becomes half human and half bug, Fly, will be Zendaya. So it could be interesting. We'll see. All this woke stuff is just... And another big story is Scott Adkins, who I enjoy considerably. I like his movies. I know most of them go straight to video. But I tell you, this guy can fight. And he is really pushing to be the new Batman. And he put out a whole campaign on social media. Some people thought it was a prank for April Fools. It was not. The prank for April Fools was Bruce Campbell as the new Doctor Who. That was the prank. Scott Adkins really wants this role. And I think, well, hell, it'll be the first time we have somebody in the bat suit that can actually fight, and I'm sure the fight scenes would be tremendous. He wants it bad. He looks good in the suit, and because they did some mock-up pictures, and I got to tell you, my sources are telling me, the rumors going around, that if James Gunn turns him down for the Batman role, he's got another campaign to push Marvel to play the Punisher. Now, John Bernthal, I reported on the last show, is going to renew his role as the Punisher in the TV series coming up. But this will be for the movies, and I think that'll be interesting as well. And finally, I want to say goodbye to a legend. Riku Browning, who you can see on the table next to me, passed away at 93. This was kind of ironic how this happened. I met Riku Browning was probably one of the first interviews I ever conducted way back when I got into this business. Nice guy. It was steady all through the Hollywood industry. Anytime there was underwater scenes, chances are he was involved in it. And of course, his most famous role was the creature from the Black Lagoon. This picture here, he's got the costume for the second incarnation of the creature, which is Revenge of the Creature. And ironically, while I was away from the studio and from the show for medical reasons, I had a birthday, and I had a little get-together, a birthday party, if you will. And if you follow me on the social streamers or social webs, pardon me, you know that a lot of times I have dialogue with someone who goes by the online name of Richard DC. And coincidentally, he happened to get this for me for my birthday present. It's an actual autographed picture of Riku Browning. And at the time he got this for me, he had no idea that he had died. So that made this this gift all that more enjoyable and certainly worthwhile. 93 years old when he died. Sorry to see him go. He was a really nice guy, and this was a really nice gift. You know, we got a lot more to talk about on the show, so Outtakes with Rex Reel will continue right after this. Every year now, for about the last, I don't know, maybe 6 years or so, the Three Rivers Comic-Con has partnered up with Outtakes with Rex Reel, and I gotta tell you, I have really enjoyed this partnership. They are coming back to the David L. Lawrence Convention Center June 3rd and June 4th. This is the Comic-Con that puts comics back in the con. I have a great time at this thing, and you know, if you like Sandman, Doctor Strange, Coraline, then you probably know the name P. Craig Russell, because he's drawn all of those, and he will have his own booth at the Three Rivers Comic-Con. He's one of many. So if you like those comics and you like his writing style, it's worth it just to stop by and see him. Just work there. And you know, I've said this every year, and I'm going to say it again. I go to the Three Rivers Comic-Con, I finish my Christmas shopping. So by the time it's over on June 4th, I'm pretty much done. I can start wrapping, and I don't have to worry about any of that other hassle. And it happened last year, and I'm sure it's going to happen again this year. It's just a great time, a great place to be. John and Todd from New Dimension Comics hopefully will be on the show in the future to talk a little bit more about this. But it's a great time. Centrally located, the convention center is a great place for this to be. I will hope to see you there June 3rd and June 4th. You know, there are an awful lot of people, especially fans of superheroes, who are getting a bit miffed, to say the least, at all this woke agenda that's being inserted into superhero movies. Have you seen the trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3? If you haven't, be warned. They've taken one of the key characters and made them trans. It's not good, okay? How would you like a superhero that has nothing to do with the woke agenda? Well, Professor, where do we find that? You got to go overseas. In fact, this movie is from Indonesia, and yes, other countries have superheroes too. The Legend of Gattaca is the movie, and I'm going to let you add this to your home collection absolutely free of charge. I have a limited number to give away, and all you need to do is send your name and address right here to the studios at BPTV. We're going to run the address up here for you. Send your name and address to that address, 5100 West Library Avenue. We're in Bethel Park. And I will send one of these in the mail to you. This is actually, you should see this movie. It's a pretty good superhero. Here's a look.
Sudah aku buang.
Pandawa, Kurawa, Raksasa, Dewata. Mereka anak cucu Adam, sama seperti kita.
Jadi Pandawa dan Kurawa itu nyata?
Mereka ada. Kita adalah keturunannya. Ada dalam darah kita. Gen kita.
Ini warisan nenek moyang lo dan ini buat lo, Yo. Gatot Kaca. Jumlah orang-orang yang bergen Kurawa semakin bertambah. Berterang-teranglah dalam gelap.
Ini yang gua suka.
We are fast running out of time, but I wanted to get one more review in for you. This is called Jackie Calloo. Actually, the movie is called Jackie Calloo, but it's being released here in the States under The Secret Case of Jackie Calloo. You know, okay, this movie is French. All right, I know. Here come all the jokes already, right? The French make horror movies too, and I wanted to watch this one because it's a fantasy, but it's a werewolf fantasy. And I love werewolf movies because, as you all know, I used to be one. This one is really kind of strange. I have to admit, it piqued my interest and I stayed with it till the end. Is it the best werewolf movie? No, it certainly is different. It has to do with religious healing, which transforms in the movie to magnetic healing, which transforms once again into musical healing. If you like your movies a little bit off the wall, and you like werewolf stories, I think you'll like this one. Jackie Calloo.
T'es le petit-fils de la magnétiseuse?
Ouais.
Waouh, la classe. C'est quoi ton nom?
Tout le monde m'appelle Jackie.
Jackie Caillou. Moi, c'est Elsa.
Non, doucement. T'as pas de sensualité, hein?
Bah chier, mamie.
Tout le monde part que de ça dans la vallée. C'est un loup, Jackie, on est sûr. Avec ce loup qui traîne là, j'ai plus une seconde.
Ma grand-mère m'a montré comment magnétiser. Je pense que je peux l'aider, votre fille.
Oh, Jackie, faut qu'on parle là. Eh, oh, t'es sourd?
Elsa! Écoute, c'est l'appel de la forêt.
Je vais vous sortir de là.
I have more movies and news for you, but we are fresh out of time, so we're going to have to save it for the next episode. Now that you have learned what you have learned, here endeth your lesson.